Aruncarea cu ciocanul, partea 2. From Las Fierbinți unfolds like a mirror held up to rural life, reflecting both its charm and its quiet despair through humor that is deceptively simple yet remarkably layered. The episode picks up where the first part left off, turning an ordinary athletic contest into an allegory about competition, ego, and the constant struggle for recognition in a world that rarely changes. What makes this episode so compelling is not the event itself, but how it reveals the psychology of the villagers, who project all their hopes and frustrations onto something as trivial as a hammer throw. The show's ability to elevate the mundane into a microcosm of Romanian society is what gives it lasting cultural significance. The episode opens in the dusty square of Fierbinți, under the harsh summer light that bleaches color out of everything except human emotion. Gianni, as expected, is the central figure, boasting about his physical strength and destiny to win. His exaggerated gestures, wide smile, and complete lack of self-awareness make him both ridiculous and endearing. He represents that universal archetype, the man who dreams of glory even when surrounded by mediocrity. Yet the brilliance of Las Fierbinți lies in how it never mocks him outright. Instead, it lets us laugh while feeling a sting of recognition. Bobița, pragmatic and always calculating, sets up the event as an opportunity for commerce, selling drinks and betting on outcomes. He knows better than to believe in heroism, but he also knows how to profit from others' illusions. Together, Gianni and Bobița form a perfect symbiosis. One lives to dream, the other dreams to live. As the camera lingers on their faces, alternating between Gianni's manic enthusiasm and Bobița's sly calm, we see two sides of the same coin, hope and resignation, both equally necessary to survive in Fierbinți. The supporting characters fill the scene with the familiar energy of gossip, laughter, and mild chaos. Ardiles, with his nervous chatter, and Celentano, with his inebriated wisdom, provide commentary that feels both comedic and philosophical. Celentano's drunken remark about how everyone throws something in life resonates more deeply than anyone in the scene realizes. It's one of those accidental truths that define the series. Wisdom often comes from the mouths of fools. The director uses silence strategically, letting the absurdity breathe. Between bursts of laughter, the camera cuts to quiet faces, watching the competition with genuine excitement, as if this hammer throw could somehow alter the course of their lives. That subtle detail transforms the event from comedy into quiet tragedy. It suggests that in a place where time moves slowly and opportunities are scarce, even small spectacles become a means of escape. The cinematography deserves special mention. The episode is bathed in the soft glow of late afternoon, capturing the textures of rural life. The cracked walls, the faded posters, the dust rising from the ground. Nothing looks polished, but everything feels real. This aesthetic of imperfection reinforces the show's message. Beauty exists not in grand gestures, but in authenticity. Every face in Fierbinți tells a story, even when silent. When Gianni prepares to throw, the scene slows down. The crowd's murmurs fade, replaced by a tense hum of anticipation. His body strains with exaggerated effort, his face twisted in determination, and then the hammer slips clumsily from his hand, landing pathetically short of the mark. The moment is instantly comic, but the laughter that follows feels almost cathartic. The entire village laughs, including Gianni himself. And yet within that laughter lies a strange solidarity. Everyone in Fierbinți knows the feeling of aiming far and falling short. That shared failure binds them together more deeply than success ever could. The beauty of this episode lies in its understanding that comedy and pain coexist. Las Fierbinți never separates them. When Gianni later tries to justify his performance with absurd excuses, the humor conceals a touch of pathos. He cannot admit defeat, not because he cares about the competition, but because acknowledging failure would mean confronting the emptiness of his ambitions. It's a subtle, yet profound portrayal of denial, one that feels instantly recognizable. The dialogue throughout the episode sparkles with natural rhythm. The banter flows effortlessly, peppered with slang and folk wisdom that anchor the story in its rural setting. Each line seems improvised, yet carries emotional precision. When Bobica mocks Gianni with a grin, there's affection hidden beneath the sarcasm. Their exchanges, full of humor and unspoken understanding, reveal how friendship in small communities often relies on teasing rather than open emotion. This cultural nuance is one of the show's great achievements. It captures the warmth and cruelty of familiarity in a single breath. There's a particularly moving scene later in the episode when the crowd disperses and Gianni stays behind, staring at the field as twilight descends. The camera lingers without dialogue, letting the moment speak through stillness. The hammer lies abandoned in the grass, gleaming faintly under the setting sun. It becomes a silent metaphor for dreams left unrealized. For all his bravado, Gianni is just another villager caught between hope and inertia. The episode closes, not with laughter, but with contemplation. The same man who earlier shouted and posed now looks small against the vast horizon, a poignant reminder that even the loudest people carry quiet doubts. On a thematic level, Aruncarea cu Ciocanul, partea 2, continues the show's examination of how people seek meaning in routine. The hammer throw, though meaningless, becomes a ritual of identity, a way for the villagers to assert that they exist, that their actions have consequence, even if only within the boundaries of Fierbinți. The absurdity of the event reflects the absurdity of human existence itself. We keep throwing, failing, and laughing as if the act alone could justify the effort. The episode's strength lies in its subtle moral ambiguity. It doesn't judge its characters. It observes them. It shows that ignorance can coexist with wisdom, that humor can coexist with sorrow. By the end, viewers feel affection rather than pity for the villagers. They may be flawed, but they are real, people who live fully within their limitations. The realism of Las Fierbinți comes not from dramatic intensity, but from the authenticity of small emotions, everyday gestures, and unspoken bonds. From a broader perspective, this episode also serves as a quiet critique of contemporary Romanian culture, where ambition often collides with constraint. It exposes a society where people are encouraged to compete without ever being given the means to truly win. The hammer throw becomes a symbol of futile aspiration, a reflection of how individuals channel their energy into trivial pursuits because greater opportunities lie beyond reach. Yet the show's tone remains compassionate, never cynical. It laughs at human folly, but always with empathy. Watching this episode feels like visiting a familiar place, a space of laughter, regret, and belonging. The characters' flaws make them lovable, Their failures make them human. The hammer throw, stripped of all its humor, is ultimately an act of courage. To step forward and try, knowing you'll likely fail, is a form of quiet heroism. That's the emotional truth buried beneath the jokes. In the world of Fierbinți, to throw is to live. Every failed attempt is proof of persistence. That idea lingers long after the screen fades to black, turning a simple comedy into something much more profound. Aruncarea cu Ciocanul, partea du, is not just about a contest. It's about the universal need to feel that effort matters, that even in the smallest corners of the world, people continue to reach beyond themselves, if only for a moment of laughter and pride.